you don't mind, you were saying,
Yeah.
we were both on camera, and now through fortune, or misfortune, now we're both in front of the camera. So if you don't mind elaborating on that, that'd be great. And I could
Yeah.
potentially use this for content.
Yeah, for sure. So it's sort of, we, like we said, we're now forced to be in front of the camera, right? To be this voice. And we talked about it a little bit before where, when both you and I got into this broadcast medium, that you needed this whole equipment. You needed a studio and a control room and cameras and a satellite and whatever to sort of get your voice, your message, your platform. And now you have it on your phone. You can reach the world through your phone. And, before you and I, maybe would have been on camera here or there, just, or segment or, something we knew about, or a cycling expert in my case. But that wasn't our calling. Our calling was always in that moment to sort of be behind the camera, to
Yeah.
put the puzzle together, and now that we're in front of it, fortunately, we don't have to talk about what we were involved with before, which was either politics or natural disasters or, whatever it was, just horrible stuff of news or whatever it was that had to be with news, that maybe that wasn't our passion to talk about that. We didn't want to read some scripts. And now having that ability to talk about something that we're passionate about, something that we care about, something that means something to us, that's what gives us that comfort in front of the camera. If you're talking about something that you really like to talk about, it's going to happen. And I tell people, Jamie, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you love to read about? What is it that you love to delve in? And what is that expertise, and become the best person at that, the most expert, knowledge at that, and then sell that, find a way to monetize that, find a way to sort of, show that off to the world and show it off by a little bit. But when you have that confidence in talking about something that you believe in and you're passionate, it's a lot easier. And I know a lot of us are, you know what, I'm scared of the camera. I can't get in front of the camera. If it's something you're passionate about, it makes it a lot easier for sure.
Now, when you first started, I was, to be transparent, shocked that you went right on camera and were like talking to the camera from your kitchen and explaining everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, how is he doing this? Like, there's a big difference between, taking some photos, making some fun reels versus putting yourself on camera and delivering what you're passionate about and trying to connect with an audience. So since that first reel, you've been showing up on camera on Instagram, for example, on a constant basis. Passion drives you.
Yeah.
But what do you think has helped you perfect your messaging?
Looking at other content, you know what I mean? Looking
Yeah.
at other content, really informing, right? Always have something new, always have a tidbit, always, continuing to be informed in whatever my niche is, right? Whether it's finding what the, pain points of people my generation are, and address how those relate to microdosing, or maybe how microdosing can benefit them, right? So it's the more you're informed, the more content you can create. That's one. Two, obviously, there's a whole bunch of tools now that are available that you can use. It's
Yes.
sometimes, what gets stuck. Oh, how can I come up with content for 30 days? There's tools out there. There's AI tools that you can use. And if you use them, correctly, and if you use them smartly and you use the right prompts and you really harness into that niche, whatever you're using, it makes it a little bit easier. I think the other thing is, before, I mean, remember when we first started the work in broadcast, if you weren't an editor, it was almost like intimidating when you see these editors go in there and they start editing real quick. It's like, now you can edit stuff on CapCut. It's sort of
CapCut, yeah.
And CapCut in a second, right? It's very easy. It's hands-on. And for, usually as you get older, technology gets scarier, it gets more complicated, there's more things. There's stuff that you can use that obviously makes it a little bit easier. The other thing, again, for me, and it's maybe because of the topic that I step in, right? That for me there was this awakening, and it was funny, Jamie, because when this awakening happens to me, when plant medicine comes into my life and it totally changes, and I'm able to sort of find this new media. I still was at CNN. And I was at CNN telling people, like, dude, I'm microdosing. Like, and they're like, what? Stop. Like, are you seriously? Like, you're telling us that you're here at work and you're like on drugs. But
Mhm.
you could call them whatever you want, but that's not what I see them like. They sort of
Mhm.
made me a better person. So it was that desire to really manifest what I was doing, manifest what I was living, right? This new
Mhm.
awakening of, okay, wait a minute, I can see life a different way. I'm not like, look, I'm not high, it's microdosing is sub intoxication, it's sub perceptual. If you feel a tiny bit, you've taken too much. It's that sense of I'm so passionate about how my life was changed and turned around
Mhm.
because of what happened that I want to tell everyone. So it made it that easier. And whatever, if your passion is, look, I love cupcakes, and I love that when I make these cupcakes, like I love that people smile when they eat my cupcakes,
Mhm.
and put that passion into whatever content you're making, right? That people feel that I think that one thing, and I get it with you too, Jamie, and your content is, I get a sense that I can relate to you. That if I met you on the street, I'd be like, "Hey, Jamie, how's it going?" And you'd be like, "Hey, follower, how's it going?" Right? That people, that you don't sell yourself, and it's, you know what it is. Someone said it to me. That age of influencer, of Rolex influencer, of look at me in Dubai influencer, look at me on my yacht in Miami influencer, like, those are gone. Like, you're an influencer. Like, Jamie's an
Mhm.
influencer because she's influencing people who are on camera to say, you know what, maybe I can be better. Maybe there's ways that I can present myself. There's ways that I can shoot different stuff. So you're truly influencing people to do something. These other knuckleheads that are wearing, what are you influencing me to do by showing me off your Rolexes? How is that an
Yeah, I'm not
influence?
buying it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I consider myself an influencer because hopefully I can influence people to look at these medicines and these healing modalities a different way, and influence them to maybe change, and if it
Yeah,
helps them, then
I love
great. So that's if find how you can change people, how people can relate to you, find how, be that influencer, not in the sense of like, hey, you know what, sign up for whatever and you're gonna make gazillion dollars. No,
that.
be true to who you are. Be authentic. I think that the more you're authentic, and you've seen it. There's people,
Mhm.
seriously, that you ask yourself, how are they standing in front of the camera? Because they're authentic. Because they don't
Yeah.
care. They don't sort of, it's just me. And if you want to accept me the way I am, fine. It's a huge world. It's a huge global audience out there. And yes, there's going to be people that are going to be like, wow, scoff and shut you off. But there's going to be people who will be like, oh my God, it's awesome. We have to take that leap, right? We have
Yeah.
to take that. We have to, it's when you're standing out there at the cliff and you got that parachute on, you got two options. You're just going to stand there, or you're going to jump. And you see that when you jump, sometimes things fall into place, because then you jump and you take a deep breath, then you open the chute, then you go up. But if you don't take that jump, all those other things aren't going to happen. So
Yeah.
it's again, feel confident. It doesn't, and that's the other great thing about, I think, the world we live in now, Jamie, and I'm sure you've seen in content that's created, and you and I come from a different world, because we came from a world that everything, it had to be perfect. Like,
Mhm.
it had to be perfect. Edits had to be perfect. There was no jump cuts. There was no, clips that were on there that was the wrong graphic. It was whatever. Now it's like, it's okay. It's okay if you mess up.
Mhm.
It's okay if you're normal. So, sometimes we take it too seriously. We're like, you know what? I gotta do it over. And I gotta do it over. And I gotta shoot it over. And I gotta shoot it over. And it's like, just shoot it. Just
Yeah,
shoot it.
I'm all about one takes, and that's what I am talking about in my workshops. I'm like, one take, it maybe two, but let's, like, you got to just move, because if you take too much time, it's going to be time taken away from you living your life, all because
Yes.
you're trying to create content, and that's not what it's about.
No.
So I really hope that we get to talk more about this on the podcast. So just
Yes.
really glad we could have this conversation